Hello and happy holidays, everybody. Welcome to episode 56 of the Cellar Club podcast. We're about to have some fun, but first we're going to drop that beat. Okay, guys, I promised the people fun. Are you ready for some fun?
We got this.
Are we ready?
Well, we're ready.
We are doing
Glenn's
special...
already falling apart.
Glenn is so excited he fell out of his chair.
Oh,
if you heard
man.
that.
This is going to be rough.
We are doing some reindeer games. Ken, why are we calling it reindeer games?
Well, because all three of us are going to be the Rudolph podcaster runny-nosed reindeer.
My nose is definitely red.
Because all three of us are trying to get over sickness of some sort that we all got for some reason.
Yeah. In 3 different time zones,
In three
people.
different
Three
time
different
zones,
states.
Yeah. I don't
It's
know.
the Thanksgiving flu.
Yeah. So
We're sick and twisted to even try to do this.
But we're here. We showed up. We all had to do something, and we all had to get it done, whatever it took. Anna hosted a Thanksgiving dinner.
Yes, with a lot of people, some of whom were sick.
Yeah.
But
Glenn had a party, baby's party.
Baby's party. And I had to run a big show on Whatnot.
Big show, stream and whatnot. Sick.
Black Friday sale.
And I just got back from sourcing the last 2 weeks and made it through.
yeah.
Sick.
Sometimes you just can't not. You just got to keep going.
So if that's not a testimony of never settle and God and get it and anesthetically miscellaneous.
You say my name different every time you say it. But you know what? It is a testimony to our tenacity and also to our disregard for our immune systems. So, do as we say, not as we do. In this case, don't run yourself into the ground. But, 'tis the season. We're not the only ones by any stretch of the imagination.
And I think we all are smart enough to figure out the opportunity if it requires the all-out mentality, whatever it takes. Glenn, tell us how you got over the thought of did you even think about canceling the show?
I'm not going to lie to you, I actually did, because I was just not feeling good
wish
at
for
all.
it, or...
I was not feeling good. I think what made it worse was that I did a hat show like 2 days before that, and like my voice was just going out.
Yeah.
And when you're live, it just it sounds bad, it looks bad, and people in the chat are like, I know you're sick.
Dude, you should have done it before. Remember back in the day, Glenn used to just only show the hats and not show his face. Yeah. And, well, you still had to talk then.
I still had to talk.
But you probably could have just did sign language. Thumbs up or thumbs down, this or that, or just throw some emoji cards or something.
True. But yeah, that made it worse. And then, I mean, the voice wasn't too bad on the Jersey show, the Black Friday show, but it was a long show. So that's also what kind of like carried it through. And then the shipping, I just did the last I guess the 2 days after that. So I was in no rush to get everything out the next day.
Yeah.
Your shipping metric's going to go down.
Maybe. But
what would it have taken, do you think, to actually cancel it? Like, if you had absolutely no voice at all, would you have tried to find a way, or would you have canceled it?
Yeah, for sure, because there was no voice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some people even say there's the golden voice of Whatnot. Oh. And if I don't have the voice, I can't sell anything.
Yeah, we might have to start recording your voice and create an AI version of it that you can just chat, that you can live forever now.
And then it could just have the AI run the Whatnots.
Yeah, exactly. You just have to ship.
I had a kind of similar thing happen before I really got sick. I had really bad allergies for a week, and which is not convenient, but that happens to me in November, apparently in Illinois. Happened last year too. But I had to sing at something that was really long. It was an hour to an hour and a half of singing. And I was struggling to get my lungs to cooperate for that. Yeah. So of course, in the moment, I'm I've just got to push through and do whatever I need to, maneuver however I need to keep on singing for the actual event. And then after that, I was like, okay, now my voice is pretty much gone because I probably pushed too hard, and but you just gotta get it done. So
Also, let's. I want to talk about two things. One is circled about Thanksgiving and Black Friday and that weekend. First, let's talk about how was your Thanksgiving dinner. Let's start with Glenn. How was your Thanksgiving dinner?
It was sad. I went to go pick up food, which I can't even eat. A lot of the stuff that my parents had packed for me and the wife.
yeah.
But I was sick. I couldn't really taste much. I had like a vegan type of meal there for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Dolphins were losing, so I was just kind of watching that, and I was just like, and the wife was in bed, so I just ate alone for dinner. It was rough.
So thankful.
That was my Thanksgiving.
Okay. How about you, Anna?
Mine was great. I did have the thing where, because I cooked most of the food for this giant meal for like a bunch of different branches of our family, and it was like, I was cooking all day long, so by the time it was time to eat the meal, I'm like, I feel like I've already eaten this because I've been smelling it all day.
You've been tasting it all day.
Yeah, right, but it was good. There were a couple things that could have been better for sure, but I've been making a good majority or a good kind of variety of Thanksgiving dishes for many years now, so I kind of have the way that I like to make things, and sometimes I try something new, or in this case, like, my sister's gluten-free, so a lot of the stuff I made was gluten-free, and most of it worked out totally fine, but a couple things fell a little bit flat because of how I altered them, so it happens. But there's always next year.
Yeah.
Better luck next year. It was good
you
overall.
gotta celebrate. You hosted in your new house.
Yes, which is super fun. It's an ideal setting for that. So I had a blast with that.
Yeah, and then my Thanksgiving dinner, our plan was to just stay at home. Well, it changed, and it got me and JC on the road for sourcing. And next thing you know, we ended up in Anna's neck of woods, 30 minutes away, bundled up because it was so cold.
Yes, it was so
in a
cold.
hotel room, because we didn't know what our schedule was. It was just whenever the car was full or the minivan was full, we just drive home, unload, and go back out again. And we were feeling iffy and kind of sick already. And Anna said, "Well, since you're here, just join us for Thanksgiving." So I got to taste Anna's cooking.
And meet everyone else in my family that you haven't met.
I met Anna's family. We were welcome, and first time meeting John's parents too.
Yep.
So met them, and I have to say though, Anna's mashed potato slaps.
It does slap. I have to concur with that.
It is so good. You don't even have to put gravy on it. That's how good it is.
Which is good, because gravy was one of the things that didn't turn out very well.
Yeah.
So there was not a great gravy
It was
presence.
good. It was good. And so we had a good time eating. Because we were like feeling under the weather already, so we didn't really stay that long. Just dine and dash, which is thankful for Anna and John to let us do that.
Of course.
So yeah, that's what happened, and part of why we were going back and forth, because I don't know, JC's ambitious and she wants to have a 2-day handling time. So we have to ship. So we would literally come home, unpack, ship, and then leave again. So my next question is, how was your holiday, Black Friday, Thanksgiving sale over the weekend? Glenn, how was yours?
So the whatnot part, I mean, just had to push through it.
It was good.
It was good. The numbers were great. I was happy with the turnout. Of course, there was no fees on that weekend, or that day, I should say. It was only that day. It wasn't really the full weekend. I guess I could have done other shows, but I think the jerseys is what I had the most of that I really needed to sell. And not only that, but it's not like after that day ends, like not like your, I don't know, selling ends completely.
Right.
You got to keep going. So so much more stuff to move. But it was a great show for.
So you didn't do shows on Saturday and Sunday?
No.
Okay.
Just the Black Friday show.
How was eBay sales during those times?
eBay sales are okay. Definitely slowing down on my end. I think because I have been focusing more on the whatnot side. That's technically what happens when you try to dominate that one platform.
For sure.
So not really a whole lot going on the eBay side for me, at least right now.
What about you, Anna? How was your sales?
It was like nothing special at all, but weirdly, since December began, it's been like, oh, suddenly it's Q4, and like I just shipped like 50 things earlier. Normally that's what I would ship after like the weekend.
Right.
And this was like, a random weekday worth of sales. Like that's a ton for me. For like this year, that's way higher than average. Which is great, but like actual like Thanksgiving weekend, Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, Cyber Monday, like all of the things, it was really nothing special at all. So I didn't have really high expectations for it. I feel like last year was kind of underwhelming too. And I was hosting people at my house still. I had relatives from out of town. And so I wasn't like trying to really bust it that weekend anyway. But I'm really glad that it's at least picked up since December kicked in.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel the same. I think December particularly feels way stronger. And I just look at the stats that we're 25% up this month.
Wow.
So I'll take that. Hopefully, I guess the last 31 days. So I guess not December technically quite yet, right? The last 31 days is better than the previous 31 days. So I'll definitely take that. So yeah, that's been kind of like the update to everybody that's listening. While we're sick and celebrating, we're still trying to hustle.
Yeah.
Don't have a choice. We have to. What can we do?
We could quit, Glenn. We could just go home and hang up our hats. Say, forget it.
That's what
but
makes
we're
it
not.
so bad.
But we're not doing that.
It's like Q4. It's the biggest time.
Yeah.
Could you just get sick earlier? Why does that have to be right now?
Yeah, go just schedule it.
Well, you need to
like vacation.
You need to reallocate your cumulative stress for the entire year to come barreling down upon you at a different time of year.
That is true.
We might
Why
have
don't
to
you do
stress.
that next time?
We might have to stress.
Schedule it for August.
Yeah, we should. September. We should stress
September.
Just
Let's
stress.
do September
Like,
instead.
Stress
I'll work on
September
that for 2025.
Yeah, stress September. That's what I'm gonna call it.
Scheduling your sickness. We should, figure that out. No, it is no fun feeling under the weather, but I do think, there's obviously still a lot to be grateful for, and we get to at least have the flexibility of more or less working from home and, making things work for us best they can, even when conditions are not ideal. But remember when I promised everyone fun at the beginning of this episode?
Yeah.
I know.
We should go back to that.
We're just getting started.
Okay,
We are. I mean, that was a good check-in. So are you guys ready to run these games?
Let's do this.
Okay. So how it's going to work is we have some topics and we basically get to, I don't know how we're going to determine who goes first. So we have to figure that out. Open to ideas. But whoever goes first will pick a topic. They will kind of provide the topic and then throw the hot potato to whoever they want to have to start answering it. And then that person will get to pick the next topic and their next victim. So.
Got it.
So how should we decide who goes first?
I go first.
All right, Kenny's ready.
Any argument there?
Nope.
We're just gonna let him. Okay,
Yeah,
go Ken.
Just let him. He's sick,
He's sick.
Definitive.
Okay. So the topic that I'm gonna cover and present, that I'm gonna ask these two people next to me, will be: pick 3 things we do differently if we did 2024 all over again. Instead of giving 3 all at the same time, we should all give 1 each.
Okay.
Like Anna gives 1, Glenn gives 1, and then I give 1. And Anna, you're it.
Good, because I already know my answer.
Oh.
So,
wow.
if you're a longtime listener of the Selling Club podcast, you might remember this crazy time in May of this year when I had 2 trips to Washington, D.C. on eBay-related business, which was super fun. The weekend in between those trips, I had a huge yard sale because I'm crazy. Actually, because I had the yard sale scheduled before the trips got scheduled. True. But I was like, I'm still going to do it. I'm still going to, make this happen or whatever. And I had purged like the bottom, I think it was the bottom 10 or 15% of my store. Yeah. So the bulkiest / least valuable / oldest items. I kind of cross-reference those criteria. Pulled out the bottom 1,000 items from my store. At the time, it was like I had closer to 10,000 items, and had this big yard sale. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you, next time I would, if I could do it over, rather not next time, but if I could have done that over, I would have went ahead and done the bottom 20% because I already feel like I want to do that again. Now that I'm, of course, at that time I had no idea I was moving. Right. Had no idea I'd have a different setup and a different space, but I'm just like, man, I should have been more aggressive about that. It already felt really aggressive to do a full 10%, but I wish I had done even more at this point.
Okay, that's good. I think that's a good result then.
Yeah.
Glenn, you're it.
If I had to, what I would change? I mean, I think I probably would have gotten as caught up as possible, like on... Because there's a lot of Jordan hoodies and stuff that I'm going to sell today, and I am, like, not even close on, like, sorting them out. I guess for me, I felt like I had more time, and, like, I didn't
Until you got sick and you lost 5 days,
exactly.
Right?
I got sick, and then threw everything back. Yeah. So I definitely would have gotten caught up, like, as soon as I've got this inventory that came in, and I'm like, all right, got some time, let me, put my attention somewhere else. Mm-hmm. But in reality, it just went by so quick that... Yeah. I'm like really trying to catch up on that side. Kenny?
I like that. We would have listed more this summer. Like we all know, listing is the switch. The more you list,
if there's a switch.
Yeah, right. The only switch that actually kind of like boost your store, eBay store in particular, is just adding more items. And sad to say, during summer we summered. Summer took off from listing, and I wish we would have integrated it a little bit more, even to like a bare minimum, like 10 listings a day, instead of not doing any listings. So that would be the thing that kind of we regret.
Got it. Do we need 3 of these? I feel like it's
we just did 3.
We just did 3.
Oh, they meant 3 each.
1, 2, 3. No, it doesn't have to be 3 each.
Yeah, what to say.
Well,
yeah. We're not that bad that we have to change 3 things, Glenn.
Okay, good.
One. I mean,
I can think of like 10 things.
One that was already hard,
Yeah.
We had to like edit like 50 minutes of pause in the middle, as a matter of fact, to think.
Not true for me, but you know what? I don't care about changing the past. I'm all for applying those things.
So
to
it's your turn again. Okay,
I have good ideas.
It's your turn.
How to do better next year.
It's your turn.
My turn is, let's see, which one do I want to choose? Okay, well, I guess just to get in the holiday spirit a little bit. I think all of us celebrate Christmas. Not that everyone does, but across the 3 of us, we all do. So I want to know what's on your Christmas list, Glenn.
On my Christmas list. Man, this is tough.
Is it?
It is tough. Oh, man. I don't think I really have anything on the list. Wow. It's kind of funny because now, after having, my daughter I just feel like all the stuff that is on my list is kind of like for her. So, anything that I do get is kind of like that would help her in a way. What she really likes are the swoosh ones, the Nike swoosh ones. They're like the ultimate baby shoe, and they're like $65. It's like, come on.
Dang.
Yeah, like they're all Flyknit, and they're like supposed to be right onto your foot. And so she wears these all the time, but I only bought 1 pair at that time. and
then
she
now
just loves these.
they're sold out or something like that.
No, they're on there, and they're
Okay.
actually running like a deal right now.
Okay.
But they have like 3 or 4 different colors. But I guess Nike was right that it is the ultimate
baby
baby
shoe.
shoe because she loves it. So I'll probably say
Baby
more
approved.
pairs of those.
That's funny. You don't want to put like world peace or anything on your list. It doesn't have to be physical items.
Oh, what? You see, now you're changing things.
No,
I
I'm not.
thought it was a
I'm
physical
clarifying.
list. I can't think about these things.
Oh my gosh.
World peace. You're
I don't
stumping
know.
me.
Sorry.
Oh, I thought it meant like a physical Santa list.
No.
I mean,
Okay.
I did. I'll confess.
Oh,
That
okay,
is what I
okay.
meant originally. I'm trying to
Yeah.
broaden
Oh,
it to
okay.
give you more options.
Oh,
You're
okay,
welcome. Ken.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, like we can't paint that Glenn's like the most selfless person here in the podcast. You know, we gotta give him like you don't want a
Even if
Ferrari,
it's
you don't want like a
true.
Lambo or something like that.
Exactly. All right, Kenny.
Oh,
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 anything on the Santa list? But we're talking about like real gifts that you could get, right? Not like
Sure.
a Lambo or. I mean, you could get a Lambo,
Yeah,
but it'll set you
that's
back a
a
little
totally normal gift for
Yeah,
someone
yeah.
to give you,
bit. For
You
JC
know
to
what?
get.
especially
Kenny.
Santa.
Yeah.
I actually don't. Okay. I have one. I want instead of a it's an experience instead of a physical thing. I want to go to like a mountainous area that has fluffy snow that I can ride a snowmobile. I haven't done it in my life. So that's my Christmas list. So maybe we can drive to where? Colorado or something like that, and then fly
Yeah.
there and then rent a snowmobile. And maybe find Santa there while we're at it.
I don't think
like that
Santa
idea.
lives in Colorado, but
Oh, there. No. There's a
plenty
few
of
Santas
Santas.
there.
that's
Yeah,
not
there's a
northern
few Santas
enough.
there.
A few. There's a few.
Yeah, they're in the mall, right?
You know what? I bet Liz knows. Let's
Yeah,
ask.
Liz
Let's
knows,
ask
guys.
Liz. She probably definitely knows where to snowmobile.
Yeah. I think that's what I want something cool, like experience that I haven't done. So I think that's the one that jumps out on like a Christmas vibe or a winter feel. Because I've celebrated so many times, tropical sunny weather by the beach. So I did that the last 2 years. So I want to change it up.
Yeah.
I want to freeze. instead of
I want to
burn.
freeze.
Yeah.
Nice.
What about you, Anna?
Well, I think this is interesting because we all like sell and ship stuff more or less for a living, and it's so true. I know for me, I'm a trinkety like person. I wouldn't quite say I'm like a maximalist, but kind of like clutter core.
You're a
just little bit.
maximalist.
Compared to you, I
Maximalist.
definitely am. But like even so, selling stuff online for a living more or less has like changed my relationship to stuff a lot. So there isn't a lot of stuff that I want like for myself, but being in a new house, there's like a million things that I want to like
that's true.
optimize about my new house, so there's a lot of things I could put on there, just specific like furniture swap outs or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I think the things that I kind of want the most are more intangible things too. Like, definitely would love some cool experience, but at this point, this year has been so utterly jam-packed with experience. I'm like, actually what I want is like some space and some like peace and quiet. So that's the experience that I want. In fact, this was like not too long ago, we had the first big like snowfall of the year, or of the season basically, and that doesn't always happen like around Thanksgiving. Sometimes it's not like till January, February that we start getting kind of snow, but there was like this beautiful, peaceful snow, and we got to like sit in front of our fireplace and like watch the snow come down all day. And it happened to be the day we were like decorating our house for Christmas, and that was like magical. Like if I could have that kind of experience again for Christmas, if that was like the Christmas Day experience, that would be perfect. Because it was so peaceful and just like pleasant, it was great.
Yeah. peaceful. I don't want people around me. That's it.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that there are plenty of things, right? But life's not about the things as much
That's
as
true.
we like things sometimes.
Yeah, if you want some things, just get it on eBay.
Yeah.
My eBay store, link in bio.
Yeah, right. In the show notes.
All right, Glenn.
All right. I want to see what our wins are we celebrating.
Ooh.
Now, are these going to be like business wins or personal wins?
Let's do both. One in
each?
business and one personal.
Okay. So I would probably start off with the business win was me just staying consistent and disciplined on the whatnot side for an entire year, like
Yeah.
full 12 months
That's
of
impressive.
Yeah,
going
That's-
live every week.
that's Glenn's other word of saying dominated.
Dominated.
And at least in his category, that he's the most consistent there for sure.
Yeah, that was like, even some things I had to go to like on a Friday, I was like, or either I go for a little bit and I come back and I go live, or I just don't go at all. But I have to stay committed to
Right.
this, and so the year's almost done, but for the most part, we're there.
You wrapped it up. Yeah, you got it. You got it.
Yeah. And then personal win, I feel like physically I'm in the best shape I've been in a while. So I think being disciplined in the gym and the diet, I think those two have been pretty good on a combo for 2024.
Nice.
I like
Anna.
that.
Why are you doing this to me? I'm still thinking.
Oh, okay. Kenny.
Okay. No, you can't change your answer.
Okay,
I just
sorry.
have to, I just have to
you
muddle
can't feel
through.
bad for Anna. Just, Anna, your turn. Struggle.
Yeah, I know. I am trying to like think back through the entire year because honestly, like, I don't know, this is a little bit of a low hanging fruit, but I feel like being willing to purge some of my inventory was a huge win because I wasn't willing to do that for a long time, but I kind of already talked about that, so I'm trying to pick something else. I have done more experiments in my store this year than I have done in a long time, such as live selling, such as retail arbitrage, on like a larger scale than, you know, just one-off things here and there. So I think that's a huge win because really I've learned a lot and then developed some new skills this year that I think are going to serve me really well for the rest of the time that I do this, you know? So hopefully many years to come, but I guess that's a win, just like that I took on many challenges this year and came out with something valuable, you know, and some of that was sales and some of it was more like intrinsic knowledge and skills and experience. So that would be a win, I guess. Kind of broad, but still a win. And personal, I mean, I freaking love my new house, you guys. That was a huge personal
That's a big
win.
win.
Like the fact that, or the way, it's like a crazy story that I won't get into, but how all of it materialized was completely unexpected, and just the fact that we were able to like scramble and pull it off to move and to actually get this house, like it was just a crazy roller coaster. And I'm just so grateful that it all worked out because it really is kind of the place that we wanted all along, like when we even moved across the country. So it's super cool. It feels totally right. And we like love it here. So I think that was a huge win, and it cost us a lot of time and effort and money. Of course, buying a house is expensive, but it cost us a lot to say yes to that opportunity. And I think it's a huge win that we said yes and followed through and were able to like get here where we are now. So
I like that. It's good. All right, my turn. Personal win would be with physical health. Started going to Orange Theory last year in August, and literally like the day after my birthday or something like that. And then this year was the full year that I did train, and that's pretty much 4 or 5 times a day. I mean, not a day. I'm sorry, 4 or 5
like,
times
holy
a
cow.
week. Yeah.
where do you find the time?
4 to 5 times a week, and I just look at my tracker. and this is just treadmill mileage. Last year I ran 108 miles. This year I've logged 310 miles already.
Wow.
So when I said before, what I always said, I'm not a runner, I'm a sprinter, and that kind of just like challenged me. It's like, wait, can I become a runner? And throughout the year I've worked on it. There's been ups and downs, some soreness, pain on the knee, and all the others, muscle that I didn't get to use because, quote unquote, I was a sprinter. Basically, I was just lazy. I just didn't have enough stamina to run a mile. So now, like, I've consistently run 2 to 3 miles per day. So I think that was a big win. I think it helped a lot physically and mentally during this year, when this year was not really kind of like a growth year for our business. The focus was kind of just like done more on like the podcast, on the brand, and actually we've done way more this year in stuff with marketing, ad campaigns with eBay. So I think that was really fun. But through that, we really didn't, intentionally drive a lot more effort to grow our business, and we were okay with it. So that was it. The business wise, I think the biggest win is, I think, the concept of having a bigger and holding inventory stood true this year, because we haven't really sourced a lot this year, but coming into this year, we've always have carried every year a bigger inventory, and that kind of really helped us take care of all our bills and all our expenses. So talking about like a safety net, in the theory, it was true. If you have a huge amount of inventory, high listed value, you can not source for at least 6 to 8 months, and it would sustain you. So I think that was a big kind of like, because it was a theory, right? I mean, we've talked about it way back. Why was it so important for me to have 100,000 listed when I started? That's because, like, if you have 100,000 listed, you can sit on it and cruise on it for a long time and not have to source. So that was good. So I think that was like the win for the business.
Got it. Very nice.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I feel like the natural extension of that question that we just did is kind of the more forward-looking, like, natural question of, so, therefore, based on the wins, right, based on the things we would do differently, like, what are the improvement, like, pick one improvement or habit you want to create or step you want to start taking in 2025. Like, how does that kind of actually get applied in 2025? And I'm going to start with Ken.
I already know. I was going to say I'll go
I chose
first.
wrong. Glenn, would you have squirmed if I had chosen you?
No. I'm ready to.
Dang it. Okay, well then, doesn't matter. Go ahead, Ken.
Our goal for 2025 is, for every weekday, we want to at least list 5 items. Like good days or bad days, at least 5 items. Because I kind of like learned this from last year when I did the decluttering challenge, that we all can find something that's worth something. As a matter of fact, JC just listed one of the crew necks that I bought Glenn during one of our out-hustled finds, that I bought for me personally. It was from it was from the Runway TJ Maxx. It was a rag and bone crew neck. It was $39.99, and I just had it in my closet sitting all these years. And I finally wanted to purge it. I said I'm not gonna wear it, and just yesterday it sold for $100.
There you go.
So,
all right, I have a question. 2 parts to this question.
Okay.
Following up. So, 5 things per weekday. Do you know how many things that is for the year?
No.
Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
1,305 things.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
That is a lot.
Uh-huh. Okay, second question.
That's how many listings I have. I mean,
I know.
around I have.
Okay. Second question. Are you allowed to bank those? Like if you did 10 listings today, do you give yourself off tomorrow?
Yeah,
Or is the point of it to be consistent 5 a day?
That is true.
Or do you schedule them like 5 a day?
That is true.
How are you
because
going to handle that?
I would say I would look at it weekly.
Okay.
That way I could like, for example, right?
Still
like
a little flexible.
If we go out on a trip next week, right? Like, oh, this week I gotta do like 10 items each day because next week I might not be able to cover it, or at least schedule them for the next week. That I feel like I was so against like the daily consistent, but I'm inspired by Glenn.
So, yeah, I mean, that's only like 25 things a week.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's not...
and like you
which
can
doesn't
find that
sound
in
as crazy.
like I can find that in one corner of my house right now. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like I have to go out and like, oh, I gotta find 5 things. It's like like I've sold some of my shirts that I haven't worn for like $30, and my shorts for $50. It's like I think that one is like it's just gonna help me declutter more and just at this point I'm just gonna become minimalist again.
It sounds like we both want to declutter more.
Yeah. I'm inspired by you again. I'm
Came to my house, saw all the clutter, and you were like, "Oh no, I cannot."
If I buy 5 things, if I add 5 things a day, I'm gonna be like this. I'm just joking.
Okay, but honestly though, this isn't even my answer, but that's the thing I did for a long time when I was thrifting a lot. Is if I kept something, I'd have to get rid of 2 things because I didn't want to like become a hoarder myself.
Yeah, I actually do that too.
Yeah,
I have quite a bit I need to
keep
get
it in
rid of.
check.
Yeah, you try to replace it,
Yeah.
with some
So
older
like I mean,
older stuff.
particularly even my shoes, like the shoes that I have like shoe like bins now, that anything that's over that is replaceable. Like it needs to go, like. But what's in there, like it's just that's like once it starts spilling over, like that means like you're
That's
accumulating too much. Yeah.
Yeah.
So. So that answer was inspired by Glenn's consistency and Anna's willing to purge. So inspired. My 2025 is inspired by these 2 people.
Love it.
Glenn, your turn.
Improvements, habits, steps, things I want to change 2025. I've been doing the research. I've been telling you guys to just like on the social media side, and I'm just like, I have a ton of ideas, but they're trash unless you execute them, right? So, unless I have to really figure out what direction I want to take this when it comes to the social media side, whether it's the YouTube channel, posting, and then also figuring out how and when to get that done.
Yeah.
I mean, the time to get it done is... It just adds up when you have so much going on the business side that you're like...
Did it even occur that it's even an option to do it or not? Because you're already thinking about doing it.
Oh, the social media stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess... Well, I don't know. That's not true. I mean, I have to do something.
Okay,
I have to.
Okay, you have to do something.
I have to do something.
Well, is it because you've done something to it that it's like... If you're not doing anything about it, that means it's kind of like a tool that you're not using or something like that.
Well, I felt like I've put in so much blood, sweat, and tears to grow the channel,
and just let it
to get to a certain
there,
point,
right?
Yeah, and to have it sit there, it's kind of like it's discouraging. At the same time, even with posting and everything like that, I think, and even on YouTube and following and doing my research, I really don't even see anything going on that great that I'm excited about, like for me to follow and listen to. Like I even find it as a struggle. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but unless other people that really love on the YouTube side, the reselling side, I mean, it's not like 2017, 2018, 2019. You can go down the list of like YouTubers that were just getting constant thousands of views, like, and I guess because it was so very new and people were really just discovering everything, and then now there's just so much out there that it's kind of not boring, but just kind of there, I feel like, in a way.
Yeah. So you have to figure out what you're going to do, how you're going to have time to do it, but you
Yeah.
want to do something.
I want to
Yeah.
do something.
Yeah.
Man,
That's all I know.
this guy's 2025
I love
is
it.
gonna be
It's a little
something.
open ended.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like I have no doubt that with your powers of brute consistency, once you figure out what it is you want to do,
Yeah, it's
you'll
gonna
figure
happen.
out
Yeah.
how to make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I'm sure, I believe in you. I'm sure you'll
You're just
do
gonna
it.
sleep with one eye open every other hour.
Oh, we can't have that.
No, but that is, I mean, that's a whole other conversation that's probably like a can of worms. But, you know, it's like, what are the different time management things you can do to kind of add something new to your life, right?
And that's
Yeah.
true.
Like
Or
some-
like as other people would say, once you have the money because you've hustled or like you've created a system that produces money, at some point you have to use that money to buy back time.
Right.
Yeah.
Because right, like there's unlimited amounts of money to be made, but there's only limited amount of time. So that's why some people, you know, would start hiring certain skilled workers to replace the things that they do. There's a reason why certain people fly private planes, because getting stuck 6 hours on an airport loses them money. So there you go, Glenn.
There you go.
Maybe a helicopter to
The hustle copter.
yeah.
AI.
Forget the Lamborghini.
AI. That's like, let's
A-
just
AI.
let's just start with AI. Why
Okay,
not
let's
just
start off-
jump straight to a helicopter? Like James Bond,
A
like
chopper.
Hey,
get to the
yeah.
chopper.
Yeah, that is true, huh?
Let's start with AI first to go from
AI.
there.
How could you do? How do
I
you
would
think
not
you'd do?
advise getting AI to fly a helicopter,
Yeah, I
especially
know.
if you're in that helicopter.
Well,
but
we already have autonomous car driving now. They have him in multiple
we
cities now.
haven't, but
Yeah.
So
I
Glenn
just
might-
heard someone earlier today talk about how AI so confidently just botches it sometimes. Though,
Yeah.
so
Oh, I know.
you want to be
can't just leave
really,
it.
you want to be
Yeah.
really sure. But anyways,
Yeah, you gotta double
Here nor
check
there.
everything.
yeah. Definitely.
All right. I think we have one left.
Anna.
Or two left.
Oh yeah, I didn't answer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she got
Oh,
to
that's-
answer. She got
I
to
kind
answer.
of. Well, I kind of did.
No, you gotta
Anyway,
answer.
I'm just gonna say, sort of to dovetail with what both of you guys are saying. I think consistency is like a top priority for me next year. This year has been really fun, and it's had a lot of like exciting, spontaneous, opportunities, and it's been awesome. But I am like so ready to have some more consistency in like across the board, like in my personal life and in even working out. Like I have been a person in the past who's had a really consistent workout routine, but I really like, I've watched both of you guys actually have this tandem journey of improving your health, you know, on at the daily level, the daily actions level, and also work your business at the daily actions level all year. And I think there's obviously so much crossover, right? It's such an analogy, like working out and getting fit and running a healthy business, like they really do go hand in hand. So I kind of want to devise my own plan for that for next year to build in more consistency. And I think one thing that is going to protect that is not just building in, you know, a regular scheduled to-do list, but actually building in extra space in my schedule
that's
so
true.
that whenever things come up, it doesn't get derailed. So consistency
like
and
that.
space are like my top two priorities.
I like that. I want to talk a little bit more about that because
Okay, we'll put a pin in that one.
I like that. Glenn, this is an
I like it
unlock
too.
right here. Because
Exactly.
because to be able to be consistent at something, you have to have enough space around it that one thing that you do consistently doesn't get pushed over. Which is, I think, the majority of people's problem, especially the entrepreneurial.
Hi, it's me, the majority of people.
Right, exactly. And the opportunist, right? Like you know, when some sale goes on, and let's say my goal was to list, and I didn't bank listings or I didn't schedule listings. I have caused myself to derail something that I valued because of it's not one or the other valuable, right? I think they're both valuable.
Yeah.
But because they're
It's a trade-off.
valuable, You just have to have either a contingency plan or another movable block of space where you can do something and shift something a little bit in between. Kind of like what we've done with our podcast. Sometimes like Thursday don't work, we'll move it to Friday. So we've kind of like always have that Thursday, Friday kind of recording buffer that if we don't make it in this one day, we'll always have this. In worst case scenario, we'll do Saturday or Sunday. So we never broke the consistency of the podcast because we created space around it. What do you think about that concept, Glenn?
I also think it has to do with like discipline of time, though. I think
Totally
like you have
does.
to be like if you want to be consistent at something, you got to be very disciplined to where, you know, no matter what, I'm gonna make this happen. Like even if there's other things that I have to, I don't know, do or go around or figure out. Like no matter what, this time is gonna be dedicated to that, and then I move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the discipline of time has to do with, you know, just kind of like being unorganized on a lot of things too, or just thinking that, nah, well, tomorrow or the next day. But if you're disciplined
Or
about
just like,
it, you're gonna do
not having a specific plan or a specific time for it. It just will get pushed because there's always a million things that, you know, we have to consider that we don't build into the plan. But would you guys say, I'm just curious, like from your experience with consistency in your business, consistency in your health this year, like discipline, I feel like at the very beginning when you're like starting a habit, this is the New Year's resolution effect, right? Like maybe your discipline's really high at first and it's kind of that rocket blast that's supposed to get you in orbit. But then like the other time I think discipline is really high is when you already have been doing it for most of the year or whatever. Like now, Ken, if something comes up and you're traveling and you're not going to Orange Theory, I bet now when you get back, it is like automatic that you're going to be going the next day or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not like a question at all. Whereas maybe in the first couple months, it might have been a little more precarious. Like you made up your mind you were going to go, but that discipline is like its own muscle that gets stronger as you have a stronger habit.
I think
too,
it's
right?
like a snowball effect, right? Like the more you've done it, the easier it is to make, right? And
to
also
keep
like
going.
to keep going, right? It's kind of like it's the habit is so smooth now that it's so easily to jump back in, because if you haven't built that kind of like that railroad, it's gonna be so hard to find that kind of like finding that groove. I think perfect example is like, you know, like when there's an opportunity to source. Even though I haven't sourced that much this year, when the opportunity came, there was no question. Dropped everything, ignored people for 3 days, and just say sorry later. Because it was just like, okay, this is the opportunity that needs to happen, that I know I've done it, and all of a sudden this time the decisions were way more easier because you have done it and you've kind of like seen the results. So leaning on the results that you've gotten last time and kind of just like building upon it. So that's true. Like the more you've done it, like as a matter of fact, we just took today off because, you know, we just want to recover. Tomorrow we're right back in it. All right, last but not the least, let's talk about our number one challenge during the holidays. I would preface this personal or business. That is a challenge. So you pick one, and go. Glenn goes first.
Well, just trying not to be sick. I mean, that's just like
right.
You took mine. No.
if I was just not sick, we wouldn't have to be going through some of these issues, and I could just pull through and push through all the other stuff.
Yeah,
You were just invincible.
Yeah,
exactly.
Glenn would have paid another house already, you know? He done bought and paid one already.
And I guess if that one was too easy, then I would say trying to actually take like a full break for the holidays and not
this
think about
guy
work.
doesn't take a break.
Yeah,
I mean, you've always done it though.
I
so
know.
Are you doing one this year?
I'm not even looking. I don't even know that far. I'm just trying to get well.
He's like, I got sick. So I guess that was my holiday.
That was my
break.
I know.
Except you didn't even take a break then.
Exactly. And I'm so
Yeah.
down right now that I'm not even looking forward to Christmas yet because none of my stuff is up because I didn't have the energy to do it.
Yeah.
Right? Since being sick. So
Yeah.
until all of this goes away and I'm 100%, I'll be excited for holiday time. All right.
Well, I would
Anna.
like to piggyback off of that because as much as I do like the holidays, I think sometimes it is hard to be, and this is not like just because I run my own business, but that certainly exacerbates the situation. But like, it is hard for me to be present and really enjoy it because there's so much extra stuff in the schedule, stuff on the to-do list, you know, and it's like all these things. I feel like I arrive basically out of breath to like a family event or, you know, whatever the next
You're like
thing
rushing
is.
to get it or to get it.
Yeah, and it's like the whole point is to actually slow down and be present, and yet the whole way that our holiday season is like set up in our culture is the opposite of that. So I think you have to really double down on like your intentionality to, or for me anyway, to like really be present and actually enjoy the holiday season and all of the extra stuff that comes with that. Like if you're going to participate in that kind of stuff, like, you know, just it's hard for me to remember sometimes that the whole point of this is like this time of year is different and supposed to be special and enjoyable and not just like overwhelming or, you know, running down your social battery faster than usual or whatever. So I think that is always really challenging. But I find like, you know, today, for example, I shipped like 50 things and I was just like in the zone at my shipping station. And that was actually a really good balance, like a counterbalance for having just like hosted a family event at my house and had out of town guests and all that stuff. Like there is some balance to be had there, but, or like rhythm, as Ken would say.
Yep.
Rhythm is better than balance, as we all know. But yeah, kind of figuring out like what's the strategy to not just like survive the holiday season, but to like actually appreciate all the different parts of it for what they are and enjoy them. Like that's a big challenge.
100%. And Kenny? He's like, let me think about this for a little bit.
Actually don't.
You don't have any challenges in the holidays?
Mm-mm.
What about eating too many carbs?
Not anymore. I haven't had ice cream in a long time.
Do you know how many carbs are in mashed potatoes, Ken?
Yeah, that was the last time, and that was probably the only time I've had it. To be honest, it's actually this is my favorite time of the year, so I don't struggle on this time. I thrive, as a matter of fact, only because I have minimized and or stripped it down to only things that make sense and that are things that I value. So I think that's kind of like I've kind of like gotten over it, and I don't. I'm trying to think. I don't, because it is actually an energy booster for me to take on next year.
Yeah.
I always say like it's the most wonderful time of the year. I just have a different bounce during December and just the holiday season. So yeah, I don't. Sorry, I have a terrible answer, but
It's not a terrible answer. It's an honest answer.
yeah. And I think also especially the last 2 years we've been back to the Philippines. This year we're staying. We're not we're not going out of the country. So I think it's kind of like, okay, I'm excited, looking forward to it. So just kind of like really refocusing and just trying to do stuff in the business, and again like planning once next year hits. We've had internal talks, like what are the things that we want to get done for next year, and I think we've done a lot of legwork already, that now it's just a matter of like let the yeses be yes and the nos and maybe laters fall into place, because we've pretty much done all the stuff we've needed to be done and schedule all the stuff it needs to be scheduled. So yeah, I'm excited for this year, and you know,
Yeah. I find myself like that's another thing during this season that makes it challenging to be present is I love to think about the new year that's right around the corner.
You plan too much. That
I do. I haven't even opened my planner for 2025 yet, guys. You should be proud of me. But like that's another like as fun as that is, like it also takes away from the moment right now.
Yeah,
you know, like so you can't like wish away the moment for sure. I mean you can, but you shouldn't. Don't do it.
Yeah. No. Anything else?
I think we still have more to go. Not today, but we have more to go.
Yeah, more reindeer games to come.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully not too red of a nose next time.
No.
And apologies for all our different sounding voices, but we will see you on the next one. And we just want to appreciate and thank you for all our sponsors. eBay for sellers, make sure you follow them for all the updates that they're doing. I think they've done some sweepstakes and giveaways too, so make sure you follow them on Instagram.
Yes, they've been doing so much fun
yeah
stuff.
So, and also major announcement for one of our sponsors, Seller Ledger. They have now officially integrated and launched Walmart as the marketplace that is integrated within their software and bookkeeping software. So if you want to get your accounting straight and get your bookkeeping easy, make sure you try out Seller Ledger. So that is pretty much for it, and make sure to follow us, leave us a review. Love this podcast. Follow us Seller Club Podcast on Instagram, and we will see you on the next episode. Peace.
See ya.
Bye.